Hello. Today I'm so thrilled to be working with a young lady that is very interested in our topic, clearing the BS out of life, the belief systems that hold us back. I'm Janine. I'm a personal leadership coach, a psychic, and a healer, and I love helping people to move beyond where they feel stuck and to move into where we're going. Now, many times when I say to people, let's clear the BS, they think about the brown, poopy, smelly stuff. Well, sometimes those super delicious belief systems that we take on from other people are definitely poopy and brown and smelly. We just have got so used to them that we've forgotten about them. We habituate to the smell, to the sense of stuckness, and to that feeling of, eek, what am I doing here? Have you ever experienced that in your life where you have felt this cycle feels like it's repeating and repeating?
Yes, definitely. I would say through most of my life. Yeah.
And how did it feel when you realized, oh, I can do something about this?
It's empowering, feeling that I can do something about it and change the status quo. You know, I think that there's nothing worse than just feeling a sense of helplessness.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. That helplessness, have you experienced how it presents in your life? Have you seen the consequences of it in your life at all?
Yes. So it feels like I'm going through the same mountain or through the same experience over and over, even though the role players are different.
Yeah.
And the timeline is different, but it's essentially the same experience over and
Mm-hmm.
over. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And with that experience, have you ever felt anger with that helplessness or like frustration
Yes, definitely towards myself mostly. Yeah.
in your body when you felt that helplessness? Did you experience it? Think about a situation, please, and just become aware of your body and feel where you potentially feel it in your body.
I would say in my head, in my chest.
That's our heart center and our center that receives information. Does your chest feel like you've closed it and you are like bowed down, pushed down, or is it a breathless feeling?
It's a breathless feeling, and I would say like congestion, just feeling like claustrophobic, like within myself, you know? Yeah.
Mhm. Oh, that claustrophobic feeling. It's like, oh, do you suffer from claustrophobia?
I do. In certain scenarios, yeah, I do.
Me too. And it's somebody was describing going through in one of the cave systems in South Africa where they go through, you can only go one way and you're in darkness and in a small space for quite a while. And just thinking about it, my whole body just cringes. Is that very much the sort of feeling that you experience?
Yes.
As you're experiencing it now, can you do me a favor, please, and do yourself a favor?
Yes.
Can you breathe in and out through your nose for me, please? A deep breath in for and out through your nose and in and out. Please share with me how your body feels now.
Um, it feels a lot better than what I described.
Mm-hmm,
I feel relaxed.
mm-hmm.
I feel at ease.
What a great feeling that is. Now, that is one of the belief systems we have that we constricted, we constrained. And just through breathing, we can help ourselves move beyond it. We can step beyond it in a very physical way. So many times when people come to me, they say, oh, I've got this pain, or I feel uncomfortable here, or, various physical symptoms. And this is a sign of blocked energy from those belief systems that come forward. I have found very, very much that these belief systems can come from our families, they can come from our experiences at school, our experiences with people at work, and we wind up with belief systems that actually belong to other people. And one of the biggest belief systems many of us walk around with is, I'm stupid, I can't do it, I'm unavailable for that, I will fail at this, I'm a failure, I will never be successful. And our belief systems from other people that we've taken on we keep repeating that story to ourselves. Have you ever caught yourself going, oh, what am I saying that to myself for?
Yes, absolutely. And it's usually the same couple of limiting beliefs over and
Mm-hmm.
over, like an ongoing cycle.
Mm-hmm. How does it feel if you catch yourself saying, oh, I'm stupid, to rather say, now that was really inadvisable? Do me a favor, please say, oh, I'm stupid, and feel your body.
Oh, I'm stupid.
And now say, oh my, that was inadvisable.
Oh my, that was inadvisable.
For a bright person,
For a bright person,
I know I can improve on that.
I know I can improve on that.
What is the shift between the first feeling and the second feeling for you?
I mean, with the negative feeling, with the negative thought, I felt like a heaviness. With the more positive thought, I felt more of a release, a more of a freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like within myself. Yeah.
Beautiful. Please say with me now. So, what else is possible?
So what else is possible?
Tell me what you felt in your body. Please tell me what you felt in your body.
A little bit of excitement,
Isn't it amazing? Did you feel your
you know,
heart open?
something to look forward to, Yeah, a
Yeah.
little bit of excitement.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Have you got any questions around what we've been chatting about now?
Um, I think this will be applicable maybe now, maybe towards the end, but with regard to these limiting beliefs, what is a daily thing that I could do
Mm-hmm.
to deal with this? Because sometimes it is a daily challenge. You know, um, we're exposed to various events, various people, various triggers in our life, and I would like to know what is an easy go-to tool to use when you're facing this, I would say these negative beliefs or belief systems that's, trying to push you down during the course of a day.
Yes. Well, number one, it's a process. It's to recognize that story over time. So if I said to you there's a quick, easy fix, I am being a little bit deceptive. What it is there's a step-by-step process to allow yourself to shift incrementally. Because when we shift from our belief systems too fast, we feel unsafe. And when we feel unsafe, we slide all the way back down and even further back. So it's to shift it step by step. And I love what you said, every day, because as we work on it throughout the day, every day, it makes such an incredible difference. For me, what I help clients and people to do is to pick up a pen and to journal. Where did this come from? Whose is this? What is this giving me? And when we wake up in the morning, as we open our eyes, be grateful for 5 things and the reason we are grateful for them. So I wake up and I say, oh, I am so grateful for my bed. It's warm, it's comfortable, it's supportive. It gave me a wonderful night's sleep so I can move into a better day. I am so grateful for the fact that I have a home that my bed is in. It shelters me, it keeps me protected from the wind, and it gives me the freedom to be able to work more effectively from home. Just as two examples, I normally also say I'm so grateful to be able to breathe effortlessly, to walk myself to the bathroom and back, and to move on. That gratitude sets up an awareness of the day for more things to be grateful for. And as we recognize this, it shifts those limiting beliefs from, I'm stupid, I can't do this, because we are, instead of focusing on the stupid, we are focusing on the, well, what can I do? What can I do that I've been grateful for? And I'd like to add here as well. Sometimes I will be grateful for silly things like tripping over a mat. Thank you for showing me. I actually tripped over a mat and broke my shoulder because I hadn't been listening to my inner voice. And it showed me some really huge limiting beliefs around asking for help, about being in stillness more than I had previously been. It helped me during meditation time because I recommend to people get into silence and stillness for just 3 minutes. And that is conscious silence with conscious breathing. So to answer your question, it's rather than a quick fix, it's a focused plan of action with action steps that take us forward. So it's the gratitude, it's those 3 minutes of, wow, there's a thought, just let it float past like a cloud. There's a feeling of, oh my goodness, I might not be able to do it. That's just an interesting point of view, and let it flow past. The quick fix that you are asking for, not a quick fix, it's a tool, because as we both are aware, it's a fix more than a quick one. It's a step-by-step process, is to say, now that's an interesting point of view. I had that point of view about myself or a situation or a person. And something that I've been using to help myself move away from those limiting beliefs, and that I've offered to my clients as well, is what energy, space, choice, and consciousness can me, my body, and my business be to be the energy of gratitude, non-judgment, and infinite possibilities today for all of life to come to me with ease, joy, and glory. And I repeat that various times during the day when I'm about to put myself down or be deprecating, or when somebody does something and I look at it and I go, squeak, I go, okay, avoid. Avoid judgment. What energy, space, choice, and consciousness can me, my body, and my business be to be the energy of gratitude, non-judgment, and infinite possibilities? Wow, it shifts the energy. Did that answer your question?
Yes, I think that these are good tools. I was just making notes as you were going along. Could you repeat that just one more time? What energy, space, and consciousness does me, my body, my business needs to be for gratitude, non-judgment, and infinite possibilities? Is that
Mhm.
right?
What energy, space, choice, and consciousness
Okay,
can
I
me,
love that choice.
can me, my body, and my business be to
Yeah,
be to be the energy of gratitude,
yeah.
non-judgment, and infinite possibilities.
I think that that will be a very powerful statement to repeat. A mantra. I'm going to write that out and stick it somewhere where I can see that. I've used journaling and just a daily gratitude exercise. I'm trying to make it a daily habit, and I do it
Mhm.
most of the time.
Mhm.
I find it does release a lot of the tension and those negative thoughts that kind of like repeat itself throughout the day. And
Mm-hmm.
it's good to actually go back and reflect on patterns and see patterns, with my thinking. Gratitude is definitely a very powerful tool. So I'm going to continue with that. And the 3 minutes of meditation,
Mm-hmm.
you know, where there's no resistance and you're just allowing the thought to come in, flow, and not really engaging with it. That's kind of like what I gathered from what you're saying.
Yes.
Don't engage or fight with it or resist
Mm.
it, just let it flow.
I say
Yeah.
to people, avoid making babies with it, because we can have a thought and make so many babies with it. And then when things go south or pear-shaped, we go, what happened here? Where did this come from? Meanwhile, you forgot that you had taken a thought about, oh, that was so stupid, and I could have done this, and I could have done that, and oh, my word, will it ever get better? 3, 2, 1 change, 3, 2, 1 change, 3, 2, 1 change is one of the best tools I use to be a pattern interrupt and to restore my energy. Because when we count down 3, 2, 1, we know something's going to start. Change or shift are switch words that literally take you below your consciousness and allow yourself to change the situation, move without feeling unsafe, to move with a feeling of safety. And when you click or you clap, it resets your fascia and your body. It's a pattern interrupt. I also teach people to rub their fingertips together, because it helps us reconnect with our brain in a way that is far more positive, kind, and caring. So you just rub your fingertips together. And in fact, I ask people to run their hand from their fingertips all the way down to their wrist, and then to swap over. How does that feel for you?
Oh, wow, that actually feels quite nice.
It is so soothing, and it puts us back in touch with our brain and our heart space in a far better way. So those are just some other tools that I help people with their belief systems. The journaling is what helps us recognize patterns, helps us to distinguish the difference between our ego looking to keep us safe. People, ego is very important. You have no desire to block, destroy, or damage ego in any way. It's vital to keep you safe. It's also vital to recognize where ego is getting in the way and put ego in the passenger seat rather than as the driver of your life. Because ego brings forward, oh, I'm afraid of this. Am I afraid of this because it happened this way or that way? Is it showing me where I'm meant to go forward? Because fear is a tool that shows us where we can move beyond a belief system into a new way of being and doing things. So the minute ego steps forward and brings fear, it's a signpost. Actually a bell going ding, 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 ding. Go and explore where you're expecting the saber-toothed tiger, and where you can actually say, I'm on the right path. Otherwise, ego would be saying, go for it, go for it. And when ego says, go for it, I would stop and examine what belief system ego is working with: a constricted, playing small one, or an expansive, maybe I feel uncertain. Something that I really beat the drum about, and I was actually talking about it on my podcast, the Mindset Alchemy podcast today, or whenever I did it, around I dislike it when people ask you to take huge jumps, because what happens is it triggers a belief system of I'm unsafe, I'm unable to do this, I cannot succeed, because there's no capacity to sustain the jump. The energy behind it is too stretched, and you haven't yet put in place the language, the vocabulary, the ability, the sustainability of it. Whereas when we have a dream or a goal that is huge, we can look at it, we can feel it, we can see it, we can experience it, and we take the smallest, most powerful step to build our muscle of being and we build our strength up. It's like if you've never been in a gym and you go and do 5 hours with the heaviest weights you can, you just don't go back to gym. You're too sore. Whereas if you go and start the exercises without using free weights or heavy weights on the machinery, you're more likely to go back. You build up your strength, you build up your capacity. And this is one of the things around belief systems. Yes, you can believe you can do something huge and fantastic. The challenge is you haven't yet built up the strength of that belief. So when something goes a little bit off kilter or out of center, you just go, I knew I couldn't do it. And you go back to the old belief system of being a failure. So how we get out of it is we teach ourselves and our energy to work and build up incrementally by doing smaller things, trusting ourselves and moving forward in a much more aligned way. Does this make sense, or have I given you too much information at one time? The bottom line is have a big goal and do it slowly.
I absolutely love this, especially the last point that you discussed, which I do listen to a lot of podcasts, and I try and I get, information about dealing with these limiting beliefs from various different places. And no one has actually explained this particular part as well as you have just now, because yes, we want to go from zero to hero, so to say, with a click of a finger. And it doesn't really work like that. You're not really going to experience that long lasting change. So I like the small steps rather than large leaps. I
Yes,
really do like that. And I like what you say about building up the strength of the belief,
yes.
because it's not an overnight process. Now I wish I didn't ask you for a quick fix because it sounds so silly now.
No,
But yes, you are right.
sorry, I was going to say,
Yeah, because
please change that. We are unavailable to play that game. It sounds like a limiting belief society has taught you
yeah,
rather than being silly.
yes, and I think that we all just need to be more patient with ourselves during this process, and I am going to keep that in mind. It's definitely not meant to be an overnight process. And yeah, I think we just need to be kinder to ourselves. So that's what I'm also going to do. Just be kinder to myself.
Love it. May I ask you to say something after me? And I apologize for interrupting you because you were really getting a realization there. It's so beautiful. Can you say with me, please? I am safe to be okay, and it's okay to be safe.
I am safe to be okay, and it's okay to be safe.
What
I'm going
happened
to write
in,
that down.
what happened in your body as you said that?
Um, I did feel safe when I said that, just that confirmation to myself that I am safe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that is one of the largest things about releasing belief systems that are keeping us stuck is that feeling of safety. So instead of taking the huge jump, we expand our boundaries to a point where we feel, oh, this feels a little bit uncomfortable. This feels a little bit unsettling. And then you know you've gone far enough. Integrate that change, integrate that growth, and then you get ready for the next incremental shift. So you move right up until you go, oh, if I go any further, I'm going to fall off the cliff. And you stay there and you integrate it and you work with it. And one of the best tools is I'm safe to be okay, and it's okay to be safe. Everything is always working out for me. How does that feel for you?
That feels great. Uh, I feel hopeful.
Mm. In the beginning, you were saying that certain things bring a feeling of helplessness and claustrophobia. What is the difference for you between that feeling that we began with and feeling hopeful now? What shifted for you?
Um, I like this little toolkit I'm going to call it a toolkit that you've given of different things I can try. and I just feel like I'm more in control now. And yeah, and it's not something that I need to battle with. It doesn't need to be a daily or a lifelong battle. This may sound like a silly question, but how do you really know when this limiting belief has genuinely been dealt with? Because sometimes I think, yes, I'm over this. I've moved past this limiting belief, and then I don't know, several weeks down the line, something else happens, and I realize, wow, it's taken me back there.
Has it
Um,
actually taken you back there, or is it presenting in a different level or layer?
I think it might be more appropriate to say presenting in a different way, in a different layer.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I've experienced myself and what I've seen with my clients is it's a layer by layer by layer. So you clear it and you let it go. And then that wound says, okay, have you seen how wounds heal? They heal from the bottom up to the surface. Okay. So we've now cleaned out the wound and it started granulating and healing from the bottom up. It's still open. It's still there. And so when it comes forward again, it's not as deep. It's not as painful. It's not as well. I don't know when you come to the nerve layer, it can be just as painful, but that's just being physiologically correct. And you get to keep it clean. You get to keep working on saying, that's okay. I'm okay to release this. I'm okay to let it go. I'm okay. I'm safe to be okay, and it's okay to be safe because everything is always working out for me. And you'll find one day something happens, you go, oh, I didn't feel a thing because you gave it the time, the space, and the capacity to heal quickly. I have discovered that medicine is wonderful in certain regards. In other regards, it does give people that quick fix. And what it does is it suppresses symptoms and it's going to come out somewhere else. When you work with this journey, you are allowing for healing, coming into wholeness and expansion and growth. May I ask you something quickly? Not quickly. May I ask you something?
Yes, go ahead.
Do we have the same foundation for a single level house as a 10-story building? Or do they have different foundations?
They would need different foundations because the
What?
pressure applied is going to be different,
Okay.
from a one story to multiple stories. Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you apply that understanding of a foundation to your life, what comes forward for you?
In order to deal with bigger things and more challenging circumstances, you need to allow or go through the process of allowing life to strengthen that foundation that you're
Yes.
building upon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get to dig out the old foundation so you can put in a deeper, uh, would you call it a hole or a deeper space into the earth to have a deeper foundation. And when we feel we're being re-triggered, is it that we are re-triggered? Or sometimes when your life feels like it's falling to pieces, is it falling to pieces? Or are you putting in a deeper foundation to have a taller, more sustainable, functional building?
Oh, wow. This is amazing. This is really amazing. I like that you said that because it's like reframing the entire situation
Mm-hmm.
rather than looking at it in a negative way as falling into pieces, the situation or life falling into pieces. I could look at it in a different way, in a more positive way to say, hey, I am building a stronger foundation here. So I'm going to go through this process.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to allow things to flow. I'm not going to resist this.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm getting stronger through this process.
That is beautiful. May I offer you another analogy around that?
Yes, please.
When you see a very tall tree, and I'm not talking about the eucalyptus tree now, because that has a very shallow foundation. I'm talking about an oak tree or a no, I can't think of the name. It's got a very deep root system. Even pine trees, and we'll come back to the pine tree. Does that happen overnight, or is there a cycle and a season for it to happen?
Definitely a season, a cycle.
And when does a tree put its roots down? Summer or winter?
I would think during winter, because during summer, it's now focusing on growing, flourishing, producing fruits. Yeah.
Definitely. So it's under the ground. We can't see it. We are unaware of it. And yet it's going deeper and deeper. During summer, it's putting out those little roots to get all the water. And I don't quite understand all that stuff. Biology was a many years ago for me, floral biology. And for me, it just makes so much sense. And that we put in what it also does as it goes deeper, it also puts out a root system to the side, because the deeper it goes, the taller it can go. The wider root system goes, the wider the branches can go. How can you apply that to your understanding of clearing belief systems or moving beyond or growing new belief systems? Because remember, certain belief systems suit us at a certain time, and then they get to shift and change. And people forget this, that belief systems are meant to change. Not even our values get to change, because the values we have as a 2-year-old are very different to the values we have as a 22-year-old. So with the analogy of the tree, how can that apply to your business? How can it apply to your life?
I think that, excuse me, if I think of the winter season, so going through difficult periods and going through whatever challenges are coming my way, to go through the process and look at what can I learn to develop stronger roots. How can I turn these problems into something valuable that's going to help me to develop the stronger root system so
Mm-hmm.
that I can flourish with my goals in a different season during a summer season.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, the difficult times are basically preparing me for what I want to achieve in a different season.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, going through the cycle, it's all working together for my good. It's
Yes.
not working against me. That's kind of what I'm taking from this.
Beautiful. Have you got any practical areas that you can look at and say, oh, I'm in a winter season here, even though I may be in a spring season in a different area of my life? Does it make sense that you can be in different seasons in different areas of life?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to just make a note of that.
How does it help you
Uh,
feel in your body to know that? What does your body feel? I call myself a bodytarian because our body tells us stories.
I feel okay, I feel like I can be more patient with myself rather than having these unrealistic and high expectations that everything has to check a certain box at a specific time or when I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like just I feel like I can live in more flow and more acceptance of what's happening. Just more acceptance of saying, hey, it's okay that this is not working out exactly the way I want it at this particular time. It's just a season.
Mm-hmm.
And what can I learn from this? How can I use this so that I can reach my goals and maybe even exceed, what
Mm-hmm.
I want for myself?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so for me, if I look at my belief systems that I have struggled with, they revolve around fear
Mm-hmm.
of various things and they revolve around unworthiness.
Mm-hmm. Now, whose beliefs are those? Are those yours, or were they given to you by your parents, by your community, by situations that you've been in? And please understand, I
It's
have the deepest of respect for parents. They are doing the best they can at the time.
I do agree that they are doing the best that they can. It's definitely coming from outside. I don't think that anyone is born in fear or
Mm.
feeling unworthy. It's something that it's about external influence. And I would definitely say it's been coming from family, it's been coming from colleagues, it's been coming from friends even. Just little comments, you know, over time, yeah.
Over time. Now, if I share with you that life mirrors things to you and create and triggers us in our belief systems, does it make sense to you when I say to you that as we grow and shift within ourselves, people around us will grow and shift because they are no longer available or in service to us by mirroring our own beliefs to us?
Oh wow, this is quite deep.
It's very deep, yes.
Life mirrors things to us. Could you just re-explain that and just break it down for me and maybe give me like an example? Yeah, I would like us to just talk about this a bit more.
Sure. I sat with somebody the other day and they were telling me how the people around them keep telling them they're stupid and they can't do something. And I asked them to stop, to breathe in and out through their nose. We grounded their energy. And I said to them, so where do you believe you are stupid and unable to do it? And this person just burst into tears because that's their inner belief about themselves that they had been avoiding. And people were reflecting back to them their inner belief. When we were able to help them understand they are lovable and they weren't expected to write matric in grade 1, it was incredible how they could shift and change because they had been told to create this huge leap and it had made them feel stupid, inadequate. They had allowed themselves to feel that because no one makes us feel something. We choose to feel it, and very often that is what happens. So, for example, I tripped over the mat. I stop and I go, what am I tripping over? What's right about things in my life I may be missing? And I realized where I was tripping over the way I was presenting a program. And when I adjusted that, I was able to sort it. So people or situations can show this to us. I've also worked with clients who were victims of abuse, and we went to look at where were they abusing themselves with their story, with their language, and with their beliefs. And when we helped them shift that and shift the idea they had that they should be punished because of something that was actually not their fault as a child, it was just a set of circumstances, and because they had no knowledge of it, they created a situation to be verbally abused at work. And when we shifted their belief around being to blame, their worthiness, their lovability quotient, guess what? Things shifted at work to the point that the people that had been verbally abusive to her actually got removed from the situation.
Oh wow,
Does that make
that's
sense to
incredible.
you?
It does. It sounds to me as well like people project their own
Yes,
limiting beliefs about themselves onto other
yes,
people.
that's
So
right.
it becomes
Or
this ongoing cycle from one generation to the next, which is
exactly.
really destructive unless someone breaks the cycle.
Thank you. Can we reframe that rather than breaking the cycle? Can we move beyond the cycle and release it? Because I don't know about you, I dislike breaking things. It's very painful if it's a bone. Whereas when we move beyond a cycle and we let it go, we are able to go in a more, you spoke about flow. We step into flow. Whereas when you break a cycle, it has the chance of coming back. Whereas when we can
Right.
recognize it and say, write this down for me, please. Write SOAR, one underneath each one. I learned this
Okay.
from a coach. You see the challenge, you observe it, is this mine? Is this someone else's? Is this a rebuilding of my foundation? Is this a growth point that I asked to go through? Is this showing me where I can be more expansive? And then the A is acknowledge it, and we can accept that it's there. And we say, thank you for coming forward. I appreciate you showing me a better direction, a better way. If it's something to celebrate, we go, thank you. I accept that you're here. And then the R is release it and replace it with something expansive and positive. So, for example, I have a feeling of, I'll give you a real life example. I used to have a real challenge with tech until I started affirming I am very good with technology. I understand it, and what I'm unable to understand, I know who people to call that can help me. I'm safe and comfortable to ask for help. I'm safe and comfortable to work it out. So earlier on, I was working on fixing something that had gone a little bit pear-shaped. And I thought to myself, is this me being silly, or is this me being unavailable to see a truth? I stood up and I walked away, and I came back, and it worked like this. I tell you, it wasn't even 2 seconds. I touched buttons. I have no idea what buttons I touched. I just know I fixed it. And then my laptop started working properly. And all the emails downloaded. Whereas before I would have burst out crying, and I'm so stupid and I can't do this, and how come a godzillion other people can do it and I just can't get one email to download. And it was that shifting of the belief that because of my age I'm unable to do it, to because of my age I can do it, because I am able to work things out at a deeper level, that I was able to get it right. Does that make sense to you? Is that a practical solution for you?
Yes, yes, this is great. And as you were explaining that, I was just thinking to myself, sometimes I feel I stand in my own way
Yes.
just by thinking that I can't do something or as well as I want to do it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So you basically reaffirmed yourself and then the solution just came.
Mm-hmm. I
That's
also
what it
got up
sounds like.
and I walked away from the situation. I saw it, I observed it, I acknowledged that there was a situation, and I asked, what is a better way to deal with it? I got up, I removed myself, the R, I removed myself. So I released the situation, and then I came back and I replaced it with the way of, I can do this. So does that help? And I soared above the problem rather than getting stuck in the problem.
This is a great tool. Yes, this is something really useful to use. Thank you.
You are so welcome. Can you feel where you can apply that?
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome.
I can definitely, yeah.
Now, something about belief systems is they aren't only about ourselves, they may be about other people. We may believe certain people do things a certain way or they act a certain way. And when we can also shift those beliefs, we allow those people to shift, because then there's an unavailability. There's no necessity for them to act in that way. So this applies to parents and children. Our children grow. They are no longer that toddler. They now become a teenager. So we get to shift how we see them, how we interact with them. We observe the situation. We acknowledge that they have, where they have grown, how they have grown, and that we get to replace the way we interact with them with something different. Now, that, just using that as an analogy, I'm not certain what made me go on this tangent. Oh, as we grow, it's imperative that we allow ourselves to change from that person to the person we have become. Part of our belief system is, who would I like to be in 3 months' time, 6 months' time, 2 years' time? Who is my future self, and what and who am I now to become that future self? And a tool I love helping myself with is to say, okay, Janine of March 2024, What decision did you make here in order to be that person there? What belief am I being asked to release in order to grow into that person who believes they can be whatever income producing activity you would like to be earning or doing? What sort of parent would I like to be there? What sort of partner would I like to be there? What sort of lover would I like to be there? And what decisions am I making today in order to be there? What beliefs about myself can I release, can I choose to let go of in order to create a new belief of being that person? And where can I be unavailable to be the person I was stuck in 6 months ago? So rather than going backwards to make your decision and working with the ego of 6 months, you take ego with you into the future and allow yourself to work in the present to become that person in the future. Convoluted questions.
Wow, I think this will be a really good exercise to do. Looking at my future self and
Mm-hmm,
looking at what I need to leave behind and what I need to pick up
mm-hmm,
in order to mold
mm-hmm.
into that image that I want for myself.
Yes. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, absolutely.
How
I'm
does it
just making
feel? Making notes, yes. I love it.
Sorry, carry on. What was your question?
Finish with the notes and then I'll ask my question.
Oh, I'm done. I was typing as you were going. Yeah.
What I was asking you is when you think of your future self in 3 months' time, in March 2024, what does it feel like to be her?
A more confident me,
Mm-hmm.
a more easygoing me,
Mm-hmm.
a more forward-looking person, a more optimistic person.
Beautiful. Beautiful. How does that feel as you sit here now?
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely a person that's not going to backtrack and
Can we
relive the same
stop,
negative
stop, stop,
beliefs.
stop? That's what we do to ourselves. We look at what we aren't rather than staying where we are. And that's a belief system we've all been taught. So instead of saying, I'm not the person who backtracks, what if you can say, I am becoming a person who trusts myself. I am becoming a person who is calm and even tempered. I am being my future self now, and I am calm and even tempered. I'm trusting myself to go forward as I love my past self and allow her to remain in the past. Did you experience your shoulders relaxing there?
Um, my entire body. I like the part about loving my past self and allowing her to remain in the past. Is that what you said? Yes.
Yes, because remember, there are parts of your past self that you're using today. So it's okay. They're parts of her you've brought forward because you are now the future self you saw 3 months ago. So the part that of yourself that was courageous enough to see your future self, that was willing to shift your belief systems, that was open to creating a deeper foundation as you allowed the wounding to heal, you've brought her with you into your future self. The past self who looked at what she isn't, who looked at feeling unworthy, you love her and leave her there. What comes forward for you with that?
Just more optimism for the future. And I feel like this is something that is going to support me reaching my goals.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yay, well done. That's beautiful. Can you see how I've used affirmations and mantras to affirm who I'm choosing to be as my future self, the way I'm choosing to be in the now, and to bring the expansive part of myself forward?
Yes, yes.
Did you
And not to,
uh,
yes, and not to,
lose the knot, tell me what we do, and avoid the NOT because it puts us in a KNOT.
that's something I need to work on. So just being forward looking
And present,
with
in the
everything.
present.
Yes.
Be in the present to create the forward looking. I so appreciate your willingness to work with me on this, to shift and change with this. Well done.
Thank you, Janine, for all these tools and for just reminding me about the importance of affirmations
Mm-hmm.
and just how to use it properly, how to apply it properly. I like the analogies that you discussed because I'm a visual learner.
Ah,
And so I like to replay these images of like some of the things that you mentioned during our discussion. And for me, that really drives home that message within myself, just replaying that image, thinking about the root systems, thinking about the foundation of a house. It may sound so silly, but it's things like that that really just help makes all of the stick better. Yeah.
may I give you another visual? Do you remember me talking about the pine tree?
Yes.
Do you know the reason the pine tree and the leaves are more flexible than the oak tree, the branches?
No.
So that the snow can slide off it and that the wind can wave it. The same with the willow tree. It goes with the wind, it can go with the flow. Yes, its root system is deep, its branches are flexible. And that's what we look at in life. Sometimes we ask to be the oak tree with a very deep root system and strong branches. Other times we ask to be like the pine and be more flexible so that the weight of something can slide off us. And even other times we ask to be like the willow where we just sway with the flow of life.
Oh, this is great. I love this. Thank you.
What shifted for you there?
I think for me, just feeling like I don't need to be a prisoner in my own thought systems.
Can we reframe that and leave not out?
Oh my gosh, I need more practice with this. I
We
think you need
all
to
do.
help me. I think you know what I'm saying.
Say with me, I love the fact I can open the cage and allow my thoughts to flow while I observe them rather than make babies with them.
Okay, you need to go through that slower with me. Um, and I
Let,
want to
let's
take
make
note of this.
let's make it simple. I love the fact
I love the fact
I can feel flexible
I can feel flexible
around my thinking process and my creating process.
around my thinking and creating process.
Yay! How does that feel?
That feels fantastic.
Well done. Do you have any other questions? We have about 5 minutes.
Um, not really. I think we discussed a lot of different things, and I think you've given me like a whole toolkit here on how to deal with limiting beliefs going forward. So I am going to, and I know it's all about consistency, about consistently practicing these things and making it a part of me. So that's what I'm going to do going forward. And Janine, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for this.
You are
This
so,
has been enlightening.
you are so welcome. Thank you for joining me today.